Live on a sunny, it's warm, not bad, pretty nice, Thursday afternoon in Northeast Ohio. Welcome into the bullpen, brought to you by Bet Rivers, of course. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Dustin Fox, and we are ready to talk with you. Training camp is underway. It's day 2 on the field. And since we last spoke just on Tuesday, Dustin.
Yes.
The Browns have signed 2 veteran players, 2 of their very few good veteran players. They have a number of good young players. But 2 of their very few good veteran players have both been signed to extensions here in the last 48 hours. First, the Browns signed 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Denzel Ward on a 2-year $62.2 million deal, $52.3 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid defensive back per year in NFL history for the second time in his career. Denzel Ward had 2 years left on a 5-year $100 million deal that he signed in April of 22. But the last 2 years were not guaranteed. Well, now he's basically got 4 guaranteed years. I guess the last year they can get out of some money. Denzel Ward, there was more of an age gap between him and Grant Delpit, but he's only about a year and a half older. Denzel will play this season at age 29, so he's under Browns team control for 4 years. Grant Delpit was going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Grant Delpit will turn 28 this season in September, in about 2 months. Delpit signs a 3-year, $48 million extension, includes $35 million guaranteed. So you've signed your best corner and your best safety to extensions. But my question for you, Dustin, for a team that's probably not going to be good. Now, hey, listen, you get the right quarterback, whether that's Shador or somebody in next year's draft. I think there's enough talent at other spots where they could turn it around quickly by next year. But does it make sense to pay a soon-to-be 28-year-old safety a 3-year extension and a just recently turned 29-year-old corner an extra 2 years and giving them essentially now 4 years on their timeline? Does it make sense? You like it or you don't?
All right. So I do like it, but it also comes with some caveats.
Okay.
Like, here's why I like it. Number one, you're rewarding your own talent. You're signing your good players, which is a positive thing. You know, that means you've drafted well. It means you're able to re-sign your guys. It's the second time they've been able to re-sign Denzel Ward to make him the highest paid at his position in the league. He is a premier cover corner. He is elite as they come.
How well do you know Denzel personally? Do you know him at all?
Not that well. I mean, I covered the team in 2018,
right,
and 2019, and he was young. I think was he a rookie in 2018?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was just a pup. I don't know him that well.
But I mean, from Ohio State things, have you interacted with him much?
No, I've only had interactions with him when I covered the team for the team. And
so he never went on the Buckeye cruise that you were on.
He may have, but I don't remember having an interaction with him when I was on the boat. But anyway, it's nice to see him, get rewarded, and certainly he deserves it. His play on the field is immaculate. Now he does have some injury concerns with the head and the concussions and things like that. So those are certain things that are, you want to hopefully he can stay healthy and stay on the field. Delpit, man, he's turned into a complete safety. Like, the guy early in his career was injured, couldn't stay on the field, had some pretty significant injuries, but I mean, he's a guy who can kind of do it all. Tackle, he can blitz, he can cover, he can wear the green dot if needed. I think that this is a good move for the team, and especially when you're talking about a team that is kind of changing their identity a little bit defensively. You're going from Jim Schwartz to a new defensive coordinator who we don't really know what his scheme or philosophy is going to be. But we know one thing: they have heavily invested in this defense, and specifically in the secondary. So those are some positives that I think that we're going to see. But the downside is, like, salary cap. and, dumping money into these guys who are awesome players, but we don't have a quarterback. There are other impact players that we're going to need on this team, to pay eventually and draft, and all these things that we're going to need before the team is ready to win. They're not winning anything this year, so these extensions, which are, I think, are they both 2-year deals? 3 years for Delpit, 2 years for Denzel.
Right, but Denzel had 2 left, so they have team control of Denzel for 4 more years and Delpit for 3.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you hope that these guys are still playing at a very, very high level in 2 years, after this season, because that's when they could be better or will be better when they find a quarterback or, figure out who the hell is going to be the quarterback if they have the guy already on their roster. So those are my concerns. I just get a little bit worried about that because, you're paying Ward, you're paying Delpit. I mean, do the Browns think they could win now? Because if they do, that's a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I got to believe Andrew Berry's smart enough. He knows they can't win now, but could they win next year if they get the right quarterback? I think that's not unrealistic, that they could be in the mix. It's, the Ravens and Steelers got new head coaches after many years, and we know how much of a problem the Bengals defense is. So I don't think anything's out of reach for next year. I think if he thought they could win this year, that would be a little crazy, but yeah, I guess you never know. I'm kind of on the same page with you on these. I am mostly in favor. I know our guy Zach Jackson, thought it was a bad call on Denzel Ward because it doesn't line up with their timeline. And I get what he's saying. And, but the Browns, to me, you're not in a spot where I'm tearing it all down. Like, they've already done that. They have good young players. I don't want to get rid of every veteran. And here's the thing about Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit. Unlike Myles Garrett, who was questionable, no question in terms of talent, obviously far, far, far superior to anybody else on the Browns. But there's question marks when it comes to Myles Garrett in terms of, I'm not going to say his character, but in terms of his leadership, both on and off the field, in terms of, his focus in the meeting rooms and stuff like that. Like, there's been a lot of things we've heard from very reliable people that he's not the best. You've never heard any of that stuff. Denzel Ward, who has been the Browns' second best defensive player for years, has been stuck on this bad team. He's never, that I can recall, he's never complained. He's never asked to be traded. When he didn't show up for like the OTAs this year, it was very surprising because in the past, he'd never missed anything.
Right.
He's as again, I don't know him personally. You said you don't really know him well, and if anybody was going to know him, you would. But I don't know him at all. I mean, we've interviewed him a couple of times years ago, but you don't really know somebody. But any interaction, the few interactions I've had with him at the field were always nice. I've never heard a bad word about Denzel Ward. Very similar to Nick Chubb. You never hear a bad word about these guys.
Never.
Like great team guys, not selfish. Good, high character, good leader, good teammate. And same thing with Grant Delpit. And as you said, they've both dealt with injuries. With Grant, it's been real injuries, whereas Denzel, it's been, well, it's not a real, I mean, it's obviously a real injury to be a head injury, but it's been the same thing, where Delpit's had more kind of different things. But if you look at it the last 2 years, Grant Delpit Denzel's played 31 of 34 games, and Delpit's played 33 of 34 games. And the Denzel, and last year, I don't know if either of them played in the last game of the regular season. Like, it could have been that. Neither one has missed any significant time for a number of years. And while neither is young, they're definitely not old. I would expect them to both be good for at least 2 more years. They could get out of Delpit's deal the last year. And listen, if Denzel is subpar by year 3 and 4, I don't think you can get out of his deal till the 4th year. But you know what? He's been such a great guy for them. I can live with that. And by the time we get to 3 years from now, they'll be out of the Watson money. They'll be out of all the offensive line money that they've kicked down the road on the veterans that have left. And they'll be in much better cap shape. And as we know, for all his flaws, and Jimmy's got a lot of them, he's not afraid to spend money. That's the one thing you got to credit him for. And they'll spend up to the cap and above it. So I like these moves. Yeah, there's definitely some late risk at the end, and if the Browns don't get the right quarterback in the next year or so, the Browns will probably still not be good for a few years, and then it's kind of a waste. I think it's worth the risk. I think Denzel's a great player. I think Delpit's a very good player. I like it. Is Denzel the best corner in football? Probably not, but he's at worst borderline top 5. And Delpit's borderline top 10, and he got the 8th highest pay as a safety, and there'll probably be a couple of guys that pass him in the next year. So I think they both got paid, reasonably relative to their value. And so while, yes, I acknowledge and agree with some risk there, I like it. And it's good to have, Dustin, as someone who played at the highest level, if you have a team that's all young guys, you got to have some veterans to show the way, right? There's so many young players on this team.
100%. And it's nice to, and listen, Delpit and Denzel are good dudes, good locker room dudes, guys that you can trust, that are, obviously they're committed to Cleveland. They're committed to this team. They play, hurt.
Yeah.
They're willing to help young players out. So those are guys, cornerstone pieces to your franchise you have to have.
Right.
And when you let Myles Garrett go via trade, Myles was the leader on defense, hands down. And now you've got guys like Denzel and Delpit who are going to have to step up. And certainly our leaders in the middle of the defense at the linebacker position are young guys.
Yeah.
So those young guys who I think are very, very talented players, and on the defensive line also very, very young players, they need to be led because they're still young and they don't know what they don't know. And I do like the signing of these dudes. And if the Browns are going to win anything this year, it's going to take them to have a really, really good and arguably special defense.
Yeah. If they're going to be competitive, if they're going to be anywhere close to 500, the defense cannot
100%.
Go backwards from last year when it was still really good. And to your point, yes, you look at the defensive line. Who's going to be the leader? Is it going to be Jared Verse, who's been an excellent player for 2 years, but he wasn't here? Is it going to be Mason Graham, who was good as a rookie, first-round pick? At linebacker, Carson Schlesinger, even as a rookie, showed leadership qualities and will probably continue to grow in that role. But what's interesting? You look at Jared Verse. You look at Carson Schlesinger. You look at Denzel Ward. You look at Grant Delpit, who maybe this next group, those are the 4 leaders of the offense. All very high character guys. Now, again, I always am a little hesitant to say that because you never know. I don't know them personally, but I've not heard a bad word about any of these guys. Jared Verse apparently is the best teammate. Think about it. The Rams were, as much as you have to get Myles Garrett, they didn't want to trade Jared Verse because they love him. They wanted Myles Garrett to play with Jared Verse.
Correct.
So, you've got high character, not only talented players in Jared Verse, Carson Schlesinger, Denzel Ward, and Grant Delpit, but they're also high character players, leaders. And, the Browns have had a problem with some bad eggs on this team and culture. And if you're trying to change the culture, turn it around with a new head coach, well, you need some leaders to do that. And on the defense, it looks like you got some good, Denzel Ward's already been a leader of the secondary, I assume. But now you got some good young guys. You got Delpit locked in. And it's good to be able to sign the Browns for so many years when you and I were on the Fan. By the way, I was taking a break on UCSS late in the show today, and I almost said on the Fan instead of UCSS. That after all this time, it's been over 4 years since I left, and all this time, I still almost said that today. But, for how many years did we watch the Browns from 2011 till 2022 when I left, where it was they didn't even have that many players to sign because they had so many bad players?
Think about how many guys that they drafted that they never re-signed.
Yeah.
It's sad because they didn't they weren't making any good draft picks.
No. Yeah, it was year after year. There was way more misses than hits.
I'm thinking about some of the draft. Dude, Joel Bitonio was the only guy for a while.
Well, let's look let's go back to our first year on the Fan. For those who don't know, I'm sure if you're watching this show, you probably know. But 2011 was the first year we covered the Browns. That year, their first-round pick was, do you remember? Or no?
2011?
Yeah. He is, I'll give you a clue. He is a massive human being.
Oh, Phil Taylor.
Phil Taylor, correct. Nice player.
Yeah, he was a good player.
But he got hurt, and he didn't last that long. But that wasn't a terrible pick, but obviously it wasn't it. Now, year before.
Are we just going first-round picks?
Just first-round picks for now. But the Browns actually drafted their their 3 first-round picks before we went on the air. 2007, 2009, and 2010 were all great. 2008, they didn't have a first-round pick. In 7, they drafted Joe Thomas. In 9, they drafted Alex Mack. And in 10, they drafted Joe Hayden. 3 straight huge hits in the first round. Mm-hmm. But then 2011, Taylor, more of a miss than a hit. Only played 44 games in the NFL. He just got hurt. The rest of that draft, Jabal Sheard, Greg Little, Jordan Cameron, Owen Marisic, Buster Screen, Jason Pinkston, some okay guys.
It wasn't until 2015, and it was an average pick. Like Danny Shelton was an average pick.
At best.
Average.
Yeah.
He's the only one that played in the league for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that's true.
Richardson, Whedon, Mingo, Gilbert, Manziel, Shelton, Irving, then Corey Coleman, which was a bust.
Yeah.
And then you get Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Great pick. Peppers was a good player, but he was traded.
Yeah.
Njoku was a hit. Baker, not a hit here, but he's been a good player.
But good player. Denzel, obviously great.
Yeah. No first round pick in 2019.
Yeah, 2017 and 2018, which were 17 was still still what's his name, Joe Banner and that crew in 2017?
No.
All right, my years are screwed up.
No, I think 2017 was Dorsey.
I thought 18 was Dorsey's first year.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Did Dorsey not draft Peppers?
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to double check. I know he obviously drafted Baker. I thought he drafted in 18 and 19, and then it went to Andrew Berry in 2020.
Sashi Brown, 17.
Okay, Sashi, right. So Sashi Brown. They also took Ogunjobi in the 3rd round that year. It was a pretty good pick. Deshaun Kaiser in the 2nd round, a disaster. But the 2018 draft, obviously with Baker, Denzel, and Nick Chubb that year was good. But you're right. 2016 was a total disaster. 2015, who is the only player? This is a tricky one. Who is the only player, now that Joel Bitonio has retired, who is the only player the Browns drafted before 2017 that is still active, although I'm not sure this guy's on a team, but he was at least active at the end of the year and he hasn't officially retired. Drafted before 2017, still active in the NFL. I'll give you a clue. It's a tough one. He wasn't that good for the Browns, but he's been around for a decade. Defensive lineman, 2nd round pick in 2016. Oh, you muted, Dustin. You muted. Got to unmute.
Sorry, I had to cough.
Right.
Agba?
Nicely done. Emmanuel Agba. He still played last year.
With?
I can't remember if he's with a team now, but technically he's not retired. But there you go. The 2017 draft. Sione Taki is still in the league. According to Pro Football Reference, he was playing last year from that 2019 draft, which was a disaster. Most of those guys have gone out of the league, but
Nick Chubb's still playing.
He's not on a team. I think he's probably done. So sad. And this happens. We shouldn't be shocked because it happens to running backs more than any other position. They go from superstar to out of the league by far quicker than any position in any sport. It's still sad because he was such a pillar. Such a great dude.
Greedy Williams?
Will, of course.
He played 3 years. That's it.
I didn't even realize
played 3 years with the Browns.
Yeah.
2nd round pick, 46th overall, 2019.
Yeah.
Played 3 years with the Browns, and then that was it.
Browns have a third-round pick, a top 100 pick from 2023 who never played an NFL game after 2023. Siaki Ika.
Don't remember that guy.
He was their second pick in the 23 draft, 98th overall. Played 4 games for the Browns in 23. I don't know if he's on somebody's practice squad, but he hasn't played in the NFL since, in a regular season game at least. All right. Anyway, I think the Browns are done with contract extensions. Now we wait and see what happens at quarterback. I will say this. I'm dead set against Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson playing. According to multiple guys at practice yesterday, he practiced as awful as they've ever seen him. I will say that I talked to our buddy Ryan Leaf today. And by the way, folks, the podcast of my interview with Ryan Leaf will be out tomorrow. But I spoke with Ryan earlier today. We did the interview today. It was good to chat with him. We had him on when he was making his kind of comeback. He just got a new gig. I don't know if you heard. He's the lead analyst for the Pac-12 on USA Network.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I was happy for him with that,
Okay.
And all he's been through, and all he's made a lot of mistakes, but he's trying hard to get his life together, and he's doing pretty well, and he's a big advocate in terms of a mental health and addiction, and he's just But anyway, I asked him his thoughts on Shedeur Sanders, and he was like, "Listen, I absolutely understand if I'm Todd Monken and I think I'm a quarterback whisperer, why I would look at Deshaun Watson and say, this guy was great. I know it's a long time, but I can get it out of him." And so while I can't wrap my head around that, and I think there's no chance it's going to happen, coaches are arrogant like that. I mean, to be a great coach, you have to think you're the best.
Oh, yeah.
And so he thinks he can get that magic back out of Deshaun, even though it may seem crazy to the rest of us.
Based on what I heard yesterday, he's never looked worse.
Yeah, right.
Like, how is this guy going to be the starting quarterback?
I don't know.
Like, how is Todd Monken seeing this too? And again, I wasn't there, but somebody was that I trust.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it, but time will tell. Obviously, in day one of practice yesterday, Deshaun was with the ones. Supposedly, Shedeur was with the ones today, so we'll have to wait and see what the word out of camp today. One other thing on the Browns I wanted to hit on. Andrew Berry said today that they are very interested in bringing back Jadeveon Clowney, which shocks me because he left the team in such a poor way. And I know everybody's going to now, pile on Myles Garrett and blame him. But Clowney's been he's a good player that nobody ever wants to bring back. So doesn't that say more about him?
It does. It's weird.
It's not like the guy still had 8.5 sacks last year. Let me see. But Andrew Berry made it seem like, yeah, we're very interested in him. Okay. Jadeveon Clowney is 33 years old. I mean, that's old for a pass rusher.
Jeez. Yeah, it is old.
He played 13 games last year, still had 8.5 sacks. He's been he's never been a huge sack guy, but he's always consistently getting sacks. He had 2 fumble recoveries last year. He forced a fumble. I mean, he's still a competent NFL player, but I like the young players that the Browns have with Jared Verse and Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire. And I just really want to see those guys play. And we talked about all this high character, and I don't know, man. I don't really want Clowney here, but we'll see. We'll see. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, if they want to sign him, obviously he's a talented guy.
Sure. Absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe he didn't go along with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, well, I think that was a big part of it. Yeah, no doubt. All right, and let's wrap it up with the Guardians here. They win the series against the Reds. Hopefully that gets them on the right track. They take 2 out of 3 against the Reds, and today they're off for the first time since the All-Star break. The Guardians will now return home and begin a series with the Arizona Diamondbacks starting tomorrow. The Diamondbacks are 57-52, so a similar record to the Guardians. 3-game series with the 7:10 start tomorrow, 7:15 on Friday, and 1:40 on Sunday. And then the woeful Mets, one of the worst teams in baseball, come to town after a day off Monday. The Mets will be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 2 night games, and then a day game on Thursday. It'll be Tanner Bybee and the rookie Mitch Bratt for Arizona tomorrow. Parker Messick, who is 4th in the American League in ERA, will face another rookie in Cole Drake for the Diamondbacks on Saturday. And then Gavin Williams against the veteran Merrill Kelly on Sunday. So you look at the next 3 days, it's a good opportunity for the offense that was good in 2 of the 3 games against Cincinnati against a veteran pitcher in Merrill Kelly, who's not very good anymore, and 2 young pitchers. Hopefully they could take advantage because you're going to face a couple of good young pitchers against the Mets in the following series. Christian Scott will pitch in the first game of that series, and Nolan McLean, who's the Mets' top young starter, will pitch in the final game of that series. And then the Guardians will go to Chicago and Detroit, which will be a big week after that, against division rivals. Question is, will Tarek Skubal still be on the Tigers? I'm going to say no. I think Tarek Skubal is going to get traded sometime between now and the deadline on Monday. Did you see what happened with the Tigers yesterday, by the way?
Yeah, they were up 7-0, and they lost like 10 extras, 10-9.
Yeah, they pulled Skubal out, which, whatever. That makes sense. But, the bullpen blew it. And anyway. All right, well, thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Thanks to Alex and Levi for producing today. Remember, tomorrow afternoon, an interview I did with Ryan Leaf will be put out as an episode of the Bullpen tomorrow. And then I'll also be on UCSS tomorrow from 10 to noon. And there'll also be an Ultimate Guardian show tomorrow morning live at 8:30. Until then, Dustin and I will be back together next Tuesday. In August. It'll be August, 3rd?
What day on Tuesday is,
3rd.
the 3rd, I think.
Or the 2nd? I don't know. You'll all figure it out. We'll talk to you then. Where else but right here in the Bullpen with Bull and Fox, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.
See ya.